this was a pre-classic type race. This is when we were used to see or Peyton Jordan.
Yeah.
This is like when we're used to seeing those races. The difference is it happened 2.5 months earlier than it normally does, and I wanted the same thing because you could say the same about Cranny, right? Amazing 5,000. This 10,000 that she ran was sensational too because she has to lead most of it. Just misses Molly Huddle's uh, American record. I mean, she runs 30:14. Gordon, she won by 46 seconds in this race. So, like, what does she do now? That's what I mean. Like Fisher, Stanford grad too, having an amazing breakout season. Was obviously solid last year, but has gone like a complete level up. Like, what does she do? She's obviously a huge favorite to make the team. And you look at those times and you think, okay, this is a person who can contend for medals. Like, what are their next moves?
Yeah. Well, one thing for Cranny is she did come up 1 second short of Molly Huddle's American record. And it was a little bit controversial because she beat the pacing lights,
Yeah,
but then she
saw
came up
that.
short with the record. And you kind of be like, the lights were giving her a false sense of security that you're going to get this record. And she turns up to
Yeah,
be a little over a second short. Um, so Cranny's kind of in a little bit of a pickle because she ran an incredible PB. She knows she probably has another second in her, but to put out it's gonna to go all in on another 10K record. She may have to wait a whole another year before she goes hard on another 10K, or hope that Worlds isn't extremely
I
fast and just she gets pulled along.
I think it might be that because remember Huddle's record came from the Olympics in a insanely quick race. I think that might
Yeah,
be where it falls. Now you go into that though not knowing. You go into that with the idea of hey, this could be a 32-minute race or this could be something historically quick. But yeah, what she was behind, so she outkicked the lights, but the lights I guess just got demoralized and said, "Well, I'm not going to run that pace anymore. I'm done." She needed a Mohamed, right? She needed a another person there
yeah,
with her pulling her along because you see that margin of victory in a 10,000. You're like, all right, obviously there was a second left there for for her to get. But if you just look at where she was, even last year, or even 2 years ago, I mean the growth that she's experienced is incredible to put down these sorts of times and that indoor Boston 5,000 combo with the outdoor 10K, whatever why whatever the reason was why Bowerman picked that order to do that, it worked. I mean, these two races went perfectly for them.
yeah. It did work, and I mean, no one was doubting it wouldn't work, right? The criticism
Mhm.
wasn't like, "Oh, you're making a mistake."
Yeah.
Everyone just, the criticism is basically the structure of our sport. It incentivized Fisher and Cranny to care more about setting themselves up for a
Mhm.
good outdoor season as opposed to flying across the country to run a indoor 3K for a global medal that won't count as the same as an outdoor global medal.
Mhm.
So that's
Yeah.
that's why they're not at indoors. But
Well,
we got, and it wasn't just Cranny and Fisher who had incredible
yeah.
10Ks here. Like you look down the list, Dom Scott got second in the 10K, ran well, 31 flat. I will like to say Sarah Lancaster, Austin, Texas native. She runs 31:21. She just picked up elite running like a year ago, or like less, maybe a year and a half, 2 years now. I don't know. But now she's running 31:21. It's incredible. Like to see the people that she's surrounded by, like full time professional athletes. And she's just like, oh,
Mhm.
yeah, I was a tennis player, basketball player. And now I'm an elite runner running 31:20s. It's just incredible. And then on the men's side, um, there was obviously we talked about Mohamed, Jack Rayner ran
Jack
well,
Rayner, Aussie record.
broke Patrick Kiernan's record, which is impressive. Um,
Mhm.
and then even like Connor Mance got the standard.
Mhm.
That's a good sign. Because you're like, all
Yeah.
right, that's the whole purpose of coming here is you want to get the standard. Shadrack got the standard as well. Sean McGordy is doing a 10K. I'm not. Is Sean still? thinking steeple. I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
That's a good question.
Um,
Yeah.
and then I was kind of bummed that Evan Jaeger DNF'd. He was supposed. This was
Yeah.
his 10K debut. He was a DNF. That was kind of like, ooh, what could it have been? But it is
Did
what
you
it
know
is.
that
And then
Woody Kincaid was
Kirabella
pacing?
Rasa DNF. Oh, did I know Woody Kincaid was pacing? I did not know
Because for a
that.
while there, I thought, are we going to have three people like sub 26:40 in this race? And then he stepped off and was like, all right, well, that also shows you how good they are, just that their level of depth of Bowerman. But
Yeah.
all right, let's move on.
I would say I was surprised that Kirabella Rasa DNF'd. He's coming off of that really fast half at Houston. I thought he would put
Yeah.
together a good 10K here, but it wasn't in the cards. I mean, it's probably hard to like you go in this race and all of a sudden the leaders are going 26:30 pace. You're like, hold, okay, whoa, whoa, whoa. It can kind of maybe throw you off your rhythm. But